they're one of the top 5 teams in the country. And, you look at it from this perspective with Tennessee. The Gamecocks have had series against the new rankings came out. Their last sets of series were against a Tennessee team that's I think number 3. They've had a series with Vanderbilt, a series with Mississippi State, a series with Ole Miss. Yeah, it's a tough road for the Gamecock baseball team. They play an Alabama team tomorrow in the SEC tournament, and it's a knockout game. So win that tomorrow or nothing. Now, I'm in the camp of, and I know people don't want to hear this, but if you're South Carolina, I think it's pretty much assured you're going to make a regional bracket. Okay? I don't think there's any doubt the Gamecocks are going to be a team that's going to make the tournament. How do you benefit from playing well in the SEC tournament? I don't think that winning there, and maybe if you won it, you won the whole thing, you could quite possibly get yourself a regional host, but I'm not buying it, to be completely honest. And I just think that, if you don't go out there and have the best showing tomorrow against Alabama, not really much to lose there, to be honest with you. So we want to talk about baseball, the season that has been, let's just be honest, not good for Clemson, and the season of what ifs for South Carolina. We'll take those calls at 803-978-1832, but I got to start with Auburn. And Auburn, we kind of knew this was going to happen at one point today, or one point here recently. Okay. But as I go through my stack of stuff here, Auburn now has a quarterback controversy. And I tell you why. They get former LSU quarterback TJ Finley, who it's been speculated that he's going there for a while now. But he is heading to the land of Auburn. And we'll get into that momentarily. Let's head out to the phones, 803-978-1832. And good afternoon. Welcome to the Rundown.
Hello, Rob. It's Bobby and KC. How are you today?
Bobby, what you got for the program today, buddy?
My contribution to the program today is pretty much the interesting thing that Nick Saban let it out of the bag, free agency, and the biggest move in college football that everyone in this area would be, since it's a Gamecocks football town, is TJ Finley going from LSU to Auburn.
I was just talking about that. He didn't even leave the division. Like it's not like, hey, we're not going to leave the comp. No. He didn't leave the division. Mm-hmm. What a mess that is.
Well, interesting problem to have. Look at the offense that might be left behind, and I'm not even going to bring Mike Bobo's name in the equation.
Mike Bobo will screw up that offense. Let's just make sure that we're all on the same page with that. Mike Bobo is a coach that is he's like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. I could throw a ball over that mountain. He's 20 years too late. And if I'm TJ Finley's dad, and I'm not, but if I'm his advisor, there is no way that I would tell him to go to Auburn with that offensive coordinator who has been hot dog water bad for a long, long time. So
you don't think that's an interesting problem for Brian Harsin to have, is Bo Nix and TJ Finley?
Let's be honest. Let's be honest with this. I question Brian Harsin. Man, you won all these games at Boise State. Why not bring your coaching staff down there with you from there? Let's just have the Mountain West coaching staff that won all those games up there. Bring them down. Let's see if they can have that implement that style of coaching into the SEC. That's what they should have done. If I'm an Auburn fan, the hiring of Mike Bobo would have made me give up my season tickets. And then you go and do this when you divide the quarterback room. And we don't know how good TJ Finley's going to be, but I mean, Auburn's a mess right now. If you're an Alabama fan, you're just laughing from afar.
Okay. Now, my next question is, in your opinion, where is Julio Jones going to land up at?
Well, we're going to talk about that in a moment. I think that I'll get into that. There's several different spots of where he's going to go, but I've got some interesting stuff, but we'll get into that momentarily. We'll see where Julio Jones goes.
And one more thing, Melvin Ingram, who played for the Gamecocks, left the Chargers. He's visiting the Miami Dolphins today. So if he's got any more gas in the tank, Miami would need a tough pass rusher like that.
He's a great player and should be good to go wherever he goes. Has had a good NFL career, so sad to see him leave out there. But the NFL's not for long, man. You're going to end up going somewhere else eventually anyway.
All right. Thank you, Rob. I'll be listening. Have a good day.
Thanks, Bobby. All right. So getting back to what we were talking about with now Bo Nix is the guy that he's sitting here and he's like, wait a minute. I started these games last year and now what do I got? I mean, Auburn is an absolute mess. I don't even know any other term to describe it, but mess. So, but the idea of going to play for Mike Bobo, and I know that there are people that love Mike Bobo, and, you could be bought into the stuff that he had when he was here, but I'm talking about his numbers have been really bad. I mean, pretty bad everywhere he's been. Yeah, he had the good years at Georgia. Was that Colorado State? They were okay. I think Derek Lewis, the MMA fighter, he's okay. That's about where he was. And then he was terrible. But that's who you want to go and play for. Okay, TJ Finley, especially if you had the opportunity to go to a different school, and that seemed to be that everybody was completely with him on that. Yeah, but he chose not to. He said there is an opportunity there. He told Auburn Undercover, a lot of people in the organization there, since the new staff got there, believe I can come in and compete for the starting job. It ain't like I'm going there to be a backup. You got to sit in the quarterback room with, Bo Nix, the guy who started last year. Yeah. Good luck, sir. Good luck. And if you're an Auburn fan, we'll take calls on that at 803-978-1832. It is a mess. Zach says Bo Nix has never been better than a good high school quarterback, and 2 trash quarterbacks are better than 1, apparently. Auburn's getting what they deserve after the way they treated Gus Malzahn. That's just the way that it is. It's not like the way that Tennessee did Phil Fulmer, but they had somebody there who was in the shark-infested waters of the SEC West and went 3 for 8 against Nick Saban, which that doesn't happen very often. And guess what? Now you've got a guy in there who is obviously Brian Harsin is clueless. That's just the way that it is. And by the way, this show will be podcast. So later on, you Auburn fans, if Harsin puts together something and rubs the magic wand correctly, and they're able to go and do this wonderful season where they go, 9-3, you can hold me accountable with we call it the bookcase of accountability around here, but everything I say is on the podcast. I don't miss a podcast. It's always up for you, 5:00 every day. You can go back and highlight it, and you can feel free to call me up and say, hey, you said this on May 24th that Brian Harsin has no sense. He went 10-2 this year, and then I'll happily eat my fried crow with a side of hot sauce. But I think that what's down there right now, that's not going to work. Edwin online says he's not ready to play yet. That's why he left LSU after a year behind Nix or whoever. Finley may be good. Yeah, he may be good then, but if he's going down there, he said point blank, it ain't like I'm going down there to be a backup. Someone told him, you can start. Just saying. Zach says as a UGA fan, he loves seeing the dumpster fire on the plains. Yeah, that's true. And, it's just interesting to me because with Gus Malzahn there, they had the potential to have good seasons. And there were some people there at Auburn that were just like, yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Evan with another comment. If there's a QB battle this year, Auburn is screwed. You're right. But I'm going by what the young man said. It ain't like I'm going there to be a backup. Okay, sir. So we normally have a tire fire every year with Auburn. This year, we normally have a tire fire every year with certain teams. This year's tire fire heading into this season is probably going to be Auburn. It's probably going to be Auburn. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. Who can crash faster than Auburn this year? You know, it's probably going to end up being a team that that we think is going to be decent, but then they end up not. What I mean by that is lots of folks like Kentucky and Mizzou. Maybe those are the teams that could supposedly do some great stuff, but then fall flat on their face. I'm not buying into Kentucky until they actually do it. It seems like Kentucky just needs a quarterback every year. It's pretty much what it boils down to. Angie Online says, Hars is usually pretty good in evaluating quarterback talent. He was Kellen Moore's offensive coordinator. Okay. Okay. Zach says Florida's going to lose 5 games. You know, that could be true too. And, you know, maybe we should have the tire fire games. We may do that by the end of the week. Who has the best chance to be a tire fire before the end of the season? Auburn's leading the way in the West. Florida may be in the East because I don't think that people want to talk about this, but I'll go ahead and say it. I don't think Dan Mullen wants to be there. I really don't. I think he wants an NFL job. I think he wanted out of Florida last year. And I don't know if those young men are going to follow him or not, because a lot of these guys can see through it, especially with that transfer portal. And when you don't have a guy like Kyle Pitts and you don't have a guy like Kyle Trask that can basically cover up a lot, okay, you can end up having some problems. But Zach with a very good point online. They could lose 5 games. They could. They realistically could. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. By the way, there is I've got what is it? Oh, I've got bowl projections entering the summer. Some of these are really funny. So we'll get into some of those in a little bit. We have to talk about Julio Jones. You know, I'll play the clip for you when we come back. It's hilarious how this stuff came out. And normally I don't do I don't like the Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless thing because it's just, you know, I don't like that kind of stuff. But it's breaking news today. Shannon Sharp just called him up live on the TV while they were on TV. And Julio Jones had an interesting response. We'll get into that. Where's he going to end up? Here's the thing with that. The Falcons say they have one main preference with that. They don't want to trade him inside the NFC. I don't get it. You think that you can only deal with AFC teams? I think they should just get whatever they can, because Julio Jones is like, nope, that's not happening. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832 is the number to call if you'd like to join us here on the Rundown this afternoon, right here on Fox Sports Radio 1400. I'm still battling this head cold, but I'm holding my own. Feeling a little bit better as we get near the end of the lights at the end of the tunnel as far as the pandemic's concerned. So that's good. More of the Rundown when we come back. This is Fox Sports Radio 1400. You guys are hilarious over there. No Red Bull for 54 straight days. I couldn't find any moonshine, man. I literally called some people and was like looking for moonshine. I did take last night, and luckily I did it after the Rob and Kale show because my buddy Jackpot was hammered last night. Oh my goodness. Go back and watch that show. Jackpot was lit up like a Christmas tree. For those that missed the show last night, oh my goodness. I'm glad I didn't drink before the show. Oh, what a mess. It was good. It was good, funny content though. But yeah, I couldn't find anybody with moonshine. So I did some what's it called? What's that stuff called? It's like just some whiskey. And that seemed to help me like sleep last night, so that was good. But I don't like drinking and going to bed. That's just kind of ugh. I do remember that. He didn't piss in the sink last night, Jerome, but he poor Jackpot. He's hilarious though. I know, right? Normally, like I go back to the college days where I would get hammered and have some woman in bed with me. Now, if I get drunk and I go upstairs, my wife's asleep. She's like, "What are you doing? why do you smell like a whiskey barrel? The hell's wrong with you? You have children, you idiot." Well, welcome back to the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400 around the world on the iHeartRadio app. My name is Rob Sanders. Appreciate the folks online. Blind Squirrel Sports says I should have gotten that moonshine to help out with my my head cold that I've got. And you're right, but I don't know anybody that has moonshine, and I don't want you calling up and saying you can get me moonshine because, we're down with the police here. We love the police officers, and we don't want to put them into a position where they're thinking that someone is bringing me moonshine. We don't need any of that. You can send me messages at Rob Sounds Good, though. Because at this point, it's not like I'm drinking the moonshine to get drunk. I just want to get rid of the head cold. Because I've taken some of the cold medicine and all that. But we were talking about, I don't like just taking like some whiskey and going to sleep. Back in the day, you could do that in college or whatever. Now it's like, yeah. If I drink whiskey and go up and go crawl up in the bed with my wife, she'd be like, what are you doing, you drunk? What is wrong with you? Blind Squirrel Sports with another. You're supposed to be responsible, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Not so much. All right. Quick note here. I want to do the stuff with Julio Jones first. So today on FS1's Undisputed, there was Shannon Sharp just called Julio Jones up. And here's this audio is actually really good. I want to make sure I give Undisputed the credit for this because he just called him up live on the show. And here is the conversation between Shannon Sharp and Julio Jones.
Man, look, you want to go to the Cowboys, Julio, or you want to stay in Atlanta?
Oh, man, nah, I'm out of there, man.
He's out of there. Are you going to... Ideally, where would you like to go?
Right now, I want to win.
Okay. Well, don't go to Dallas. If you go, you ain't winning in Dallas, Julio.
Man, listen, come on, man. You already know I know.
Okay.
Can you remind him we're on television?
Ask him why I wore the Dallas.
Listen. You know how people is, man, with all that going on with the picture.
Yeah.
And all that, stuff like that.
Okay.
Man, I ain't never been on that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's good enough. Yeah. Julio, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for calling me back. We on air, but I appreciate you calling me, dog. I know my nephew was going to pick up.
Oh yeah, yeah. I ain't going to Dallas, man. I never thought about going to Dallas.
Okay. I appreciate that, bro. Enjoy the rest of your day.
The best part about that, one, is that he managed to dump on two fan bases in a matter of 60 seconds. He basically told the Atlanta Falcons, no, I'm not coming back to play for you. I'm complete. When he asked him that, he's like, yeah, I'm completely out of there, meaning there's no hope for you Falcons fans. Shout out to Tyler Crowder, friend of the show, who is at home in the fetal position right now crying that Julio Jones is not going to be with the Atlanta Falcons. But then, oh, no, that's not enough, ladies and gentlemen. That's not enough for Julio Jones. Let's just go ahead and kick in the face of the Dallas Cowboys and tell them, oh, I'm not even going there either. I've never seen one guy completely slap two franchises in a matter of 60 seconds by saying, I'm not playing for you and I'm not playing for you. That might be, as Jerome is saying there, he is a savage. That might be the most savage interview ever. And I don't think he knew he was on the air either. Let's make sure we put that out there. Shannon Sharp must have some great relationship with this guy because he just talked to him like, oh, whatever. But I don't think that he was completely with it. I really don't. RMF Todd said, I hope he goes to the Titans or the Patriots. He might, you never know. But he said that the big thing is that he wants to win. Winning is important to him. So you got to look at, for him, I would think, it's not like he's the quarterback. He has to have somebody to throw him the ball. So you have to think of where can he go that is close to winning a Super Bowl that he could possibly make some noise. And ladies and gentlemen, being the homer that I am, someone call and tell him to go to the Green Bay Packers. Yes, I know. Aaron Rodgers said, oh, I'm not going to my OTAs. Not going to my OTAs. That's great. But if someone gets to Aaron Rodgers and says, hey, we're going to trade and we're going to get you Julio Jones on one side and Devontae Adams on the other side, you telling me you can't come back and play for this team, sir? If I'm the Packers, I would at least look into it. Why not? Why not throw all of your biscuits in one basket and trade a first-round pick for next season, whatever it is you need to do to get this guy to go to Green Bay? Just saying. Got to figure out the salary part of it. But if what he said is true, he wants to win. Right now, one of those spots is up at Green Bay. You could also look at it from another perspective that maybe he could go to a team like Seattle. Maybe he can have a little bit of a rapport with Russell Wilson. Or maybe he could look at a team like Arizona. Go down there with Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins and those guys and have an opportunity down there to do something. There are certain teams, though, that I don't know exactly if they're going to be completely in the mix or not. But the Falcons want a first-round draft pick in exchange for this guy. So I don't know where he's going to end up. 7 Pro Bowl seasons and several years, according to some reports, as the best wide receiver in the NFL. We don't have to have that argument. If we could just say he's a top 5 receiver. He's a top 5 receiver. Simple as that. Give us a call at 803-978-1832. Where do you think he's going to end up? That is the most savage piece of audio I think we're going to have the Savage Cup. And what that is the most savage piece of sound I can find. Right now, the winner of the Savage Cup for 2021 is Julio Jones, knocking 2 teams in a matter of 60 seconds. Brandon thinks he's going to the Panthers. Why would he go to the Panthers? Just saying. Think about that too. Also, when we come back, I've got an update on Deshaun Watson. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff there that's going on with the Deshaun Watson case. We'll get into that. Crimson Brave says, I'm not sold on TJ Finley at all. I don't think anybody's sold on TJ Finley. Edmund was talking about it earlier in the chat room over here, which you can follow at foxsportsradio1400.com, that, if there's a quarterback controversy at Auburn, then Auburn's screwed. Just saying. Jerome says the only way to keep Tom Brady from winning another ring is with Dallas. Julio Jones telling Dallas, I never thought about going there. Think about that, man. Cowboy fans think that the Cowboys like hung the moon, the stars, and everything else. They're an average franchise at best right now. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832 is the number to call if you'd like to join us here on the Rundown. Right here on Fox Sports Radio 1400, of course, around the world, the iHeartRadio app. Appreciate you joining us. You can also check us out on Twitter. I'm at Rob Sounds Good. I think I made some people mad on Twitter over the weekend talking about the Phoenix Suns and how all the Lakers fans, the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, Lakers going to sweep. Yeah, how do you look now, stupid? How's that working out for you? I wonder. 803-978-1832. More of the Rundown. We come back right here on Fox Sports Radio 1400. We joke, but he's probably going to end up with the Titans. He's 30. What is he? 31, 32? It wouldn't surprise me if that's where he ended up.
Hey guys, Walton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason a couple of years ago, and he said, Dad, you're the best father ever. When I asked him why, he said, because when I go outside to play, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore. Imagine that. Me, a hero, when all I did was call my good buddy Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe. With their routine service plan, no more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. That's 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again.
Age means a lot in the NFL. It doesn't mean anything in golf, man. Phil Mickelson was like, you're watching that yesterday. You're thinking, you know what? Old guys can do things. And then you're like, okay, maybe in golf. Maybe in golf. But he was solid, man, the whole tournament.
This is Rob Parker. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network. Presented by NHTSA. NASCAR officials say he could have been more proactive with wet weather during.
I love the Falcon fans who are like, it's Matt Ryan's fault, which that's kind of the funny thing. Man, they hang Matt Ryan out to dry for nothing. Oh, God. I don't know about that story there, blind man. I don't get that one.
There's no such thing as a good excuse for not buckling up. Law enforcement are writing tickets, so why take the risk? Do the smart thing. Buckling up every trip, day or night. Click for ticket. A message brought to you by NHTSA.
Sports radio done only the way Fox can do it.
Always something to talk about. There's always controversy.
You're listening to Fox Sports Radio.
Welcome back to the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400. Out to the phones we go. Chad joins us to talk a little bit about Julio Jones. Chad, man, what you got?
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing?
Good, man. What's up?
I would say Julio Jones, whoever gets him, they better hope he plays more than 3 or 4 plays a game in the last 2 years. But the Lamb needs linemen. They don't need Julio Jones. They got Calvin Ridley. They got Kyle Pitts. They got Hurst, the tight end. They can get rid of Julio Jones, get some linemen, defensive linemen and offensive linemen.
So you think that's the better way for them to go and just let him go somewhere else?
Most definitely. He's on the backside of his career.
Well, but he is a 7-time Pro Bowler. He is 32 years old. There's an argument he could have 3, maybe 4 good seasons left.
But he ain't went there for Atlanta. I mean, he ain't want that money for Atlanta. I mean, they need more help.
That's true.
They don't need receivers. They don't need receivers. I mean, they got guys that can catch the ball. Ken Ridley is a bad man. He's a beast himself.
So
they got guys that can catch it. I mean, they got number ones. They need some linemen, baby. Have a good day, brother. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Chad joining us here on the show says Atlanta needs some linemen. Doesn't everybody need linemen? I'm with you on that. Jerome's calling A.J. Green a traitor from Somerville. Are you guys still upset that he went to Georgia? Come on, man. Brandon asked, do I think that Matt Rule will end up being a successful NFL coach, or think he'll be fired in a few years and got a good hire for the Panthers? I don't know. I don't know what it takes to be a good NFL coach. And what I mean by that is that there are guys like Bill Parcells that I say Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick. I think Bill Parcells when I see Bill Belichick that are the old school way and the way that they do things work. Then there's guys like Bruce Arians, who just won a Super Bowl down in Tampa. He's kind of a different coach. Andy Reid. I mean, I think those are the top coaches in the league right now. You know, a lot of people want to go with younger coaches like the Packers have done. I don't know. Mike McCarthy, I think, was a heck of a coach. And he's down at Dallas, and they weren't like the best thing ever. I think in the NFL, it's all about managing egos. And if you can do that and you're able to help pick out talent, then you're going to be fine. But as far as Matt Rule, I think it's just tough, man. It's tough being a coach. It really is. All right, some notes on the Deshaun Watson here. You know, apparently his date, like his big court date thing, is actually set for after the Super Bowl. So what's happening here is that he's still going to be a member of Houston right now. He reportedly is not going to go to OTAs. He did put out a video on Instagram the other day where he's, doing the quarterback drills and stuff like that. And, he hasn't really been charged with anything on the front there of as far as criminal charges. So I don't think he's going to go back to Houston. Now the question is what general manager is going to look at Deshaun Watson and is going to say, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen this offseason, but I know Deshaun Watson on the field is an absolutely great quarterback. And I'm looking at my team, and right now we don't have a quarterback. We don't have any of that. So with that, I'm going to go and trade for this guy. Now, he may be in trouble for next year. That may happen. But for this year, I wonder how that's going to be. What general manager is going to do that? That's going to be the big thing. Now, there are reports that 2 teams are in the mix. 2 teams are in the mix. The Carolina Panthers and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that Deshaun Watson is better than any quarterback that either one of those teams have on their roster. In fact, I'm confident in saying that Deshaun Watson is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. Remember, he's 25 years old. Okay? He's 25 years old. So, yeah, you're taking a risk with maybe having him suspended for some games one season. But if you can get him locked up to a contract and get him on board, and you may end up getting something where you might get him at a reduced price. You might. And you can get him with that because you're going to say, hey, you wanted out of Houston. We gave this up to get you out of there. We expect some loyalty on your part. And that may come down the line for him. So the stuff with Deshaun Watson is interesting across the board. But it's going to be who has the what can I use on the radio without who has the potential? Can I say gonads? I could say gonads. Who has the gonads to go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go and get him right now. And then Houston has to take something for him because he's point blank saying, I'm not going to play for you anymore. Would not surprise me if by July 4th, we're talking about Deshaun Watson with someone else. Jerome Online says they'll settle with some stupid sum of money and he'll probably just do it again. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about all that. Lots of other comments over there in the chat room. Go and find it on the Fox Sports Radio 1400 page. I just think that it's time where a move needs to be made. And if you're a Texans fan, you just got to let it go. Things didn't work out the way you wanted them to there, but you have to look at it from a perspective of if you're a diehard Texans fan, you're rebuilding from the start right now. Because in the NFL, you start with your quarterback and you work from there. And right now, he doesn't want to play there. And that's just the way that it is. The idea of just holding on to him is, insane and shouldn't happen. I mean, because it's not going to benefit your franchise at all. You're just going to keep a guy there that doesn't want to be there. The old adage that cancer can kill a locker room, man. And why not start building with the quarterbacks you've got there? They drafted a quarterback. You got to start looking now because that's the way to go. 803-978-1832. We talked about TJ Finley. If you want to call and chime in on that, do you think Bo Nix is going to transfer? He might. But to me, that would make the most sense because it seems like they're not very happy with Bo Nix if they're bringing this guy in. That's just from me on the outside looking in. 803-978-1832. We'll wrap up the show today and we come back. You're listening to Fox Sports Radio 1400. Hey, I appreciate you guys over there watching, man. If you guys could like the video on YouTube and share it, that would be great. What I want to have, like, by the time football season gets here is I'd like to have just a room of snakes where you're all just battling with each other. And I'll do my best to mediate. But that's kind of what I want. Like, I don't think there aren't very many shows where the audience is doing the whole live chat right in front of everybody, and then we're actually broadcasting it on the radio too. So that's kind of what my vision is for the show. We got some cool stuff we're doing. I'm going to ACC Kickoff, which is like the ACC's version of Media Days. I'm going to have Dabo Sweeney on the show. Whoever else they send up there for Clemson, I'll have them on the show. I mean, we'll have all kind of stuff. So it's going to be all the coaches up there. Like, was it 2 years ago? We had Dino Babers, Mac Brown. Who else? the last time we were there, I mean, we had like, I think 7 or 8 coaches. Jeff Collins. I mean, we had just some great guys that were on the show. For you Gamecock fans, I've been going to practice when they have practice, if I can get around when I actually do the show. So, you know, I'll be doing our best Gamecock coverage across the hall and covering the Gamecocks. So I'll be knee deep in Gamecock stuff all year too. But yeah, man, football season, that's kind of how I want it in the chat room. Just people just snipping at each other. That would be just great. Yeah, the ACC pool system is stupid. I mean, we'll talk about that in a moment, but yeah, it's a mess. Hold on, let's see here. What, Edwin, you can't see everybody's YouTube comments over there? I didn't know that, buddy. Well, welcome back to the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400 around the world on the iHeartRadio app. My name is Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us today. You can also find us on the Fox Sports Radio 1400 Facebook page. All kinds of good stuff over there with people chatting back and forth. So there, I've mentioned Deshaun Watson's not going to OTAs. Aaron Rodgers is not going to OTAs. Russell Wilson is not going to OTAs. This is just the way things are. I mean, if I'm an older quarterback, you know, you can't deal with it. So I wouldn't want to go to OTAs either, but that's just me. Side note here, the Clemson baseball team, we talked about them earlier. Here's the way that it works. In the ACC does the pool play, and I get on this stump every single year. Why in the name of anything are you doing pool play in baseball? I just don't get it. I mean, let's be honest. We talk about conferences and conference coattails and all that. The reality is that when you have what the SEC does with their tournament compared to the ACC, it looks like big leagues compared to putt-putt golf. That's basically what it looks like. You have pool play in the ACC, and it's the pool play leads into a 4-team single elimination bracket to determine the champion. Each team in the 4 pools will play 1 game against each of the other 2 opponents in the pool, Tuesday through Friday. The 4 teams with the best records within their respective pools will advance to Saturday's semifinals, with the winners playing on Sunday in the ACC championship game. If the teams are tied at the completion of pool play, the team with the highest seed in the respective pool will advance. So, perspective on that. You know, if you have teams that go 2-1, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You could beat, let's say Clemson beats Louisville, but loses to, make sure I've got my pool stuff here. Georgia Tech, I think, is the other team in there. Let's say that Clemson beats Louisville, but loses to Georgia Tech, and then they split. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Georgia Tech is the team that will advance just because they're the higher seed. It's an absolute mess. Do better, ACC. I really like what the SEC does. What is it, 5 through 10 or whatever? They play an elimination game on Tuesday. Then you move into the double elimination portion of it and then go from there. It just makes more sense. I don't like pool play at all. But that's what we're going to be into this week with the ACC tournament up in Charlotte, by the way, up at Truist Park up there. It's actually kind of cool. It's right there near the Bank of America Stadium. All right. Anyway, if you want to call and complain about the ACC play, we can get into that. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. In case you missed it earlier, the most savage line you will hear from an athlete this year, the winner of the Savage Cup right now, is this line from Julio Jones earlier.
Man, look, you want to go to the Cowboys, Julio, or you want to stay in Atlanta?
Oh man, nah, I'm out of there, man.
You out?
He's out of there.
Are you going to? Ideally, where would you like to go?
Right now I want to win.
Okay. We don't go to Dallas. If you go to, you ain't winning in Dallas, Julio.
Man, listen, come on, man. You already know I know.
Okay.
He reminds him we're on television.
Ask me why I wore the Dallas.
Listen. You know how people is, man, with all that going on with the picture.
Yeah.
And all that stuff like that.
Okay.
Man, I ain't never been on that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's good enough. Yeah. Julio, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for calling me back. We on air, but I appreciate you calling me, dog. You know I know my nephew was gonna pick up.
Oh yeah, nah. Yeah, I ain't going to Dallas, man. I never thought about going to Dallas.
Okay. I appreciate that, bro. Enjoy the rest of your day.
No, Dallas, nothing for you. No, Atlanta, nothing for you. You do not get the services of the 7-time All-Pro wide receiver there, or 7-time Pro Bowl selection from the Atlanta. Nope, I'm not going to play for you anymore. Where's he going to end up? We will be watching as that rolls along. By the way, this is like one of the coolest weeks with all the baseball tournaments that are out there. You know, Selection Monday is next week. The idea of Clemson being in the tournament's probably not happening, but I think we got to look at Coastal and see if they're still in the mix. It's going to be interesting. Love some college baseball, and we'll be following along. Tomorrow, when we do the show tomorrow, I think, if I remember correctly, tomorrow, Clemson plays at 11 o'clock. So by the time we do the show, we'll know if Clemson is still in the mix or not as far as pool play goes, as they play Louisville at 11 a.m. Then the Gamecocks play at 2 o'clock against Alabama, and we'll see how that's going to work out for them as they head down to the SEC baseball tournament. Hopefully it's not 2 in barbecue. That happens. It could be just 1 in barbecue and you're out. So we'll see how that works out there for the Gamecocks. But if you're a college baseball fan, it's like one of the best times of the year. Next Sunday night is going to be outstanding, or this Sunday night with you'll have all of the regional sites online, and then on Monday you can figure out who's going where. I think at high noon. So like next Monday will be like the selection show, and we'll have all that broken down for you as we roll along here on the rundown. And you know, you could make an argument that you could have SEC versus the field right now, and I'd probably take the SEC. I really would. I don't see another team outside of the conference that is that scary good, to be honest with you. I had some folks trying to tell me it's Notre Dame with all the that they've got the pitching and they've got, you know, but I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm buying Notre Dame or not. But as far as I'll take SEC versus the field. I think that conference is that far ahead. I really, really do. All right, tomorrow on the show, we'll have more for you as far as maybe we'll have an idea on where Julio Jones is going, because I think that's going to be something that's going to be out there for a bit. We'll keep track of that. Jerome says, don't forget, Edelman's going to Tampa. So he's going to come out. I guess that's what happens now. You got like the old man, the AARP team down in Tampa that can still get some stuff done. Folks that watch football know the reason that Tampa won the Super Bowl was more to do with their defense. It was just another shaming of Ndamukong Suh and not appreciating what he could do at the NFL level. Just saying. Oh, it's Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady. No, it had more to do with the fact that Tampa played pretty good defense. And Tom Brady didn't throw 30 interceptions. Lawton Swan of Clemson Sports Talk is next. He is the czar of Clemson Sports. Be sure to check out his show.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
Yes, we all love the Swan. By the way, the Swan, I seen pictures of him at the Carolina Cup over the weekend wearing a slick Clemson Sports Talk shirt because he's always repping the brand. He's not out there in some crazy outfit, just a Clemson Sports Talk shirt. Be sure to check out his show today from 4 to 6. My name is Rob Sanders. Podcast up at 5 o'clock. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. You have a great day, all right?